Henderson captures what's inside you. Nature and history are its backdrop. Always familiar, but never the same. So, what's your nature?
So you've been watching just a few of the attractions in Henderson County. We're talking about blues, bluegrass, barbecue, romance. All of it is available, and it's only 2 hours away. With me now is Abby Dixon, and she is the Executive Director for Henderson County Tourism, correct?
That's right.
I want to make sure I get that right.
That's right.
Okay, first of all, only 2 hours away. I don't think people sometimes realize how close it is and so much to offer. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Only 2 hours away. I came up this morning. It's an easy drive. And I think kind of what we're finding is folks are ready to travel again. And now that it's warm weather, it's summertime, you're planning those weekend getaways, Henderson is a perfect destination. Whether you're looking for romance or something family friendly, big festivals or a little less hustle and bustle, we're only 2 hours away.
Yeah, and during these tough economic times, Abby, I think you'd agree, now's a great time to visit Henderson. Lots of things to do for the family. Let's talk a little bit about why so much is there, and I think a lot of it has to do with your history.
Yep.
I mean, let's talk a little bit about one famous little painter.
Oh, yeah. Legendary, you might say.
Yes.
Yep, so John James Audubon called Henderson home. He actually lived in Henderson longer than he lived anywhere else. So we have beautiful John James Audubon State Park right there in Henderson. The museum looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. Largest collection of Audubon artifacts and originals in the world. It's a really incredible experience. 6 cabins right there at the park, so you could really just make a weekend of it.
And that would be enough for a visit in itself. But now let's talk about your history with blues, and specifically the father of blues, who's W.C. Handy.
That's
let's talk about that. Yes.
That's right. So W.C. Handy spent time in Henderson too. It was actually in Henderson where he discovered his calling to write the blues. So we celebrate W.C. Handy every year, Father's Day weekend. Coming up June 15th through 18th, we have the 32nd W.C. Handy Blues and Barbecue Festival. Right there on our beautiful riverfront. Here's what's really cool about this one. It's totally free. We have world-class blues acts. Eddie 9-Volt will be there this year. We have the Cold Stairs. Ronnie Baker Brooks will be there. And it's a free festival for the entire family.
It's entirely free. And one of the big attractions, and I think sometimes people forget, is the culinary experiences that are available in Henderson County. So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, because of this is a blues and barbecue festival. Barbecue, big history there too, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you are coming to our neck of the woods down in Henderson, you cannot leave without trying some of our famous barbecue. So we have 5 or 6 barbecue joints now. We have a trendy new barbecue spot called Homer's, and it's downtown. And then we have those mom and pop hole-in-the-wall restaurants, the place where you will find the locals, J&B, Thomason's Barbecue, and everything in between. So the barbecue is excellent, but let me tell you, if you're looking for some romance, you got to head out to Farmer and Frenchman Winery and Cafe. So it's out in the county, as the locals say. We have Katie, who is the farmer, born and raised in Henderson County. We have Hubert, who is the Frenchman, straight from France, now has made his roots in Henderson County. And they have just a gorgeous setting, a winery, a cafe, Italian food, and 3 guest cabins on site there. They are luxuriously appointed. Very romantic. That's really, when you're thinking about the Western Kentucky back roads, you got to go down the back roads and see Farmer and Frenchman. It's really lovely.
That sounds really, really neat. And you know, these are some of the things I did not realize about Henderson County. So we've talked a little bit about, you know, the art, the blues, the bluegrass, all this available.
Yep.
Tell me about the Sandy Lee Watkins Song Fest. What exactly takes place then? Now that's July 27th through the 30th, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And I think you're finding we really, whenever the weather gets warm, we become this really cool festival town. We're right on the river, good vibes, laid back. And July is when we celebrate our Song Fest. So this is when we have Nashville songwriters. We have legends like Win Barble, up-and-comers like someone you might have heard of recently, Hunter Girl, who was runner-up on American Idol just recently. She was with us last year. So our downtown restaurants and bars really transform into Nashville-style listening rooms. So we have a songwriter round. This is a chance to hear from the songwriters. This is what was going through my mind whenever I wrote this song that you and I hear on the radio today. So July 27th through 30th, if you are into country music, if you love that Nashville style of the listening rooms like the Bluebird Cafe, but maybe you're not so into the Nashville traffic and the Nashville hustle and bustle, you want a more laid-back trip for a festival, this is one you won't want to miss.
Wow, we go on and on. You guys really are a festival town, because now you also have coming up Bluegrass in the Park, which happens in August, correct?
So that's in August, August 12th and 13th this year. So this one is really cool. 36 years of this free festival. You know, we're only about an hour from Bill Monroe's home place. So bluegrass, you know, it runs deep in our neck of the woods. Kings Highway is always the house band. The lineup for that festival will be coming soon. But it's situated there in Audubon Mill Park on our riverfront. Lots of green space, century-old shade trees. So even with that August heat, you can just lay out a blanket, catch a breeze from the river, and enjoy bluegrass music, which is really having a moment globally. So to be able to catch a festival like this right here in Kentucky, where bluegrass is from, it's just really cool. You know, we haven't had time to talk. There's so many things that we haven't touched upon. You know, the shopping. I'd love to talk to you more about the culinary scene there, because I know you're very proud of that. Yes. But you made the drive in today. So for folks who are coming from Louisville and want to make this trip and make a family, maybe a long weekend, perhaps an entire week, and there's so many activities, where do they go for more information, and how do they get there? Yes, HendersonKY.org. Okay. So we can help you plan your entire trip no matter what you're looking for. We'll send you a travel guide. We'll answer any questions you have. HendersonKY.org is your one-stop shop to learn more about Henderson and what a weekend getaway to Henderson could entail. And what interstate do we hit on, Abby? We're going 64 west, down 69, 2 hours, no more than that. If you speed a little bit, it could be a little less. Did you speed, Abby? You did. Just a little bit. Just, okay, that's honest. 64 west on 69, and then Henderson County. You've heard a lot about the barbecue. You've heard a lot about the bluegrass, but we're talking about art, romance. It's all there. Henderson County, only 2 hours away. Thank you very much, Abby. We'll see you there. Yep, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. All right, lots of things, lots of attractions there, family attractions as well. All right, coming up next, Tony Roberts is a man